Okay. Well, guys, I promised you a video every day. I know the last two have been pretty quick and inconsequential, but I figured I would do another quick one today. I just been driving for like 7 hours, so pretty quick here, but I just wanted to do a quick little I figured the easiest thing for me to do probably is to do a just kind of go through all my cameras. I have quite a few cameras. I've started to accrue a selection. To be fair, they're not all here, so this is not going to be all of my cameras. 4 of them are working. They live at the podcast studio, and then 1 of them is the one you're watching me on, so we're not going to count that one. We're not going to count those 4. One of the cameras we'll get to, and then we'll kind of discuss all those other ones, but I think just we'll do these, the ones I have in this room really quickly, and I'm going to do it by size. I'm going to go from smallest to biggest. So arguably my smallest camera, you've already seen it. This one, this Temu 4K vlogging cam. I used this a bit this past week, and you know, for what it is, pretty good. Is the video from it super crystal clear? No. Is the sensor size very big? No. In fact, it's quite small. I would not use something like this for low light situations. It's pretty mediocre, but I kind of like that grainy, artifacty look on it. Like I kind of mentioned before, you can kind of get a retro look from it. So yeah, I think that's, you know, it's totally usable for certain situations. For a YouTuber on the cheap, might look into this. Anyway, we've talked about this already. Moving on. Next one I'll probably want to discuss. The next biggest, arguably, GoPro Hero 4. GoPro Hero 4 Black, in particular. This one's interesting. It's right before GoPro kind of went with the totally built-in design. So here you're still like, this is the lens, it's still exposed, so that can still crack. So if you wanted to use this for like action camera type things, you had to buy the case for it, and that's kind of before they came up with this design. It's a very similar design, but this, everything is built in, so that's a protected lens, and this has a built-in screen. This one does not. It has actually a detachable, I don't know if it's super accessible right now. It's somewhere near, I can't find it right now. But it has a detachable screen that snaps in on the back here, which is a touch screen. But if you're using that, you can't use any of the cases because then it's too big. And it takes up extra battery life. So, not great. I think this does do 4K video at about 15 FPS. And there's this pretty significant crop on it, meaning it crops in on the image to get the 4K. So not exactly super usable in the 4K situation. I do also have a GoPro Hero 5. Again, that's living at the studio as just kind of a backup cam if something goes terribly, terribly wrong. But okay, GoPro Hero 9. Got this pretty significantly after. 4K 30 FPS, 2.7K 60, so you can get really high resolution video. The stabilization from like the 8 onward is crazy. The hyper smooth horizon leveling, everything, it's all built in, really good, well thought out, and I'm sure on the modern ones, the 10, 13. Yeah, one other difference. So this one, obviously, there's no attachment points. Like this is all you get, is just the brick of the camera. On this one, like I said, they incorporate the case into that, so that's protected, and it's got these little clips down here, so you can do whatever you got to do with it. So if you got like one of these guys, you just slot that right in there, and your camera's good to go. And they do a lot with these. I don't know what these are called, like these clips. So they have ones where you can clip it to helmet with like a what am I trying to say here? A crazy glue sticker kind of thing. So yeah, their ecosystem has been built out really well. They've got a lot of things you can attach to it. So the GoPro, always a handy thing to have around. Way better quality than the action cam, but the batteries are not built in. The batteries don't live forever. I've got a battery, like it came with one battery, and after using that for about 2 years, it's starting to bulge, so now I'm having to go with these separate batteries that are not lasting as long. So, you know, you might have to buy replacement actual batteries. Okay, let's see, what's the next biggest camera? Probably, arguably this. Yeah, I think so. So this is the Reto, ultra wide and slim, super tiny, very pocketable 35mm camera. It's got an f/22. It says f equals 22mm, so it's an ultra wide field of view, super tiny to take a picture on. Like, you've got this tiny little window, tiny little viewfinder. There are no manual controls on this at all. It's spray and pray pretty much, but it's very cute. I backed this on I don't know if it was like Indiegogo or GoFundMe or something like that, Kickstarter maybe. I backed this for like 20 bucks, and then they sent it to me, so I guess it got backed. Came in a bunch of cool colors. It's essentially like a reusable, disposable camera. That's kind of why I like it. It's very small and pocketable. I worry that because the shutter is right there, I worry that I'm gonna hit it and it will go off, and I don't. That could have happened. Okay, we might need to back up one. I just picked this up, or found this. This was like the old family snapshot camera. This is a Canon CyberShot SD770IS digital ELF. They were still doing that series. Again, these kind of cameras right now, this size of digital cameras is really becoming popular. You know, certainly kind of like the Y2K aesthetic is coming back into popularity. The kind of low quality artifacty digital photos are coming back into popularity. I mean, this is just very tiny. I mean, this is smaller than a phone, and 10 megapixels. The pictures are not great. It does take video, and I think the video, it's like 640A or something. It does time-lapse video, which is cool. Like, if you want to do that kind of thing. I don't know what these buttons do. I still got some exploring to do with this, but super tiny point-and-shoot digital cameras are certainly kind of becoming more popular. And there's the very high-end versions. Obviously, if you're like a pro or semi-pro photographer, you might be getting into like the higher end of those, like the Reto GR or the Sony RX100s. Canon has a more modern version of really high end, but they're all bigger than this. I mean, this is smaller than a phone. This is minuscule. Got a quarter 20, so you can put that on a tripod if you really wanted to. I don't know. Doesn't give me the focal length, does it? It doesn't tell you the focal lengths, so you're just kind of guessing. Let's see, 6.2 to 18.6, so that's really wide, but the sensor is probably quite small. I doubt this is even an inch big sensor, but 10 megapixels. What they'll say is, like, for most purposes 12 is all you will ever need. If you want to go a little lower at 10, I'm sure you could get away with printing some of those. And then, like I said, it's got a little flash on there. That could be good for certain things. If that's your aesthetic, go for it, you know. There you are. Okay, so then next up, this is a jump up in quality, a little bit bigger too. Let's see if this, yeah, almost the same size. But this is the Sony DSC-HX80, much bigger lens, as you can see, and the zoom range on this thing is incredible. Like, that's a big zoom lens. Like, I know that's not everything, but that's a big part of it, you know. You can get a lot of versatility. Again, if you just want to take a little picture, little camera with you, this is very pocketable. I've got this little case in it with an extra battery, and you can just strap that to your belt, throw that in your bag. This is 18 megapixels. This is a Zeiss Vario sonar lens on there. It says 4.1 to 123 is your focal length, so you got a huge variety on there. This has a flip up screen for like vlogging kind of stuff, and the only other Sony cameras that I have that do this are the Sony A5100s. And then they stopped doing that for a while, and only certain cameras will do that. This does do 1080p HD video, 1080p 60, so you can get somewhat slow motion if you turn it down to 1080p 30. Cute little pop-up flash on top. For some people, this might be a big one. Pop-up viewfinder on the back, which turns it from looking just at the screen to like a little rangefinder situation. This is a $300 camera. You know, quarter 20, so you can put it on a tripod or put a plate on there. One thing I found out, that's the HDMI out, and that's actually has a clean HDMI out feed. So if you wanted to stream video from this, it is technically possible. It's just so stupid that they put this HDMI out right next to the tripod mount, so you cannot actually plug it in. I mean, I've figured out how to do it. It's just not super pleasant. But that would be the next biggest camera. I mean, again, compare that side by side. They're fairly similar. This is obviously thicker and a much bigger lens, but both of those you could just take in your pocket and take pictures. And I probably will. All right, from there, I do have another Canon point and shoot somewhere here. Those are my grandparents. Oh, there it is. I have not been able to get this working again. I turned it on once and never again. So someday I'll figure it out. This is a Canon PowerShot A1100 IS. IS meaning image stabilization, so that's got some kind of digital or physical, maybe sensor stabilization on there. 6.2 to 24 millimeter lens. Again, I don't know the size of the lens on there, but that's pretty good versatility. It does take video. I could not tell you the specs on the video there. It does have a mode dial on top. No other manual controls really that I could see. And like on this one, it does have ISO controls. So you can change the ISO, and all it is just a little slider that goes low, medium, high. So yeah, what are you gonna do? So yeah, just another family camera that I picked up. Doesn't currently work, but there's some pictures on there, so I think I took them off already. My grandparents in Antarctica, things like that. All right, what is this? So as far as size, this is kind of tricky. So I think we'll have to go by weight, because this next one is lighter. The body is bigger. This is another one I just picked up. This is one I found on my mom's desk, and I'm kind of excited to see how the pictures look from this. This is a Minolta Hi-Matic AF2. What I like about this is it's not an interchangeable lens. You just get the one lens, which is a 38 millimeter. That's it. Stuck at f2.8, not bad. It's got a filter thread, so you could put filters on there. And the nice thing with that is, I believe this right at the front on the bottom there, I believe that's the light meter. So if you're putting a filter on the filter thread, you're metering through the filter, so you have an idea of or it's giving you an accurate light reading through the light meter, so you're taking the right picture. When you half press this, so sometimes it doesn't want to do anything. And I don't know if that's just because it doesn't have anything to focus on, or what exactly is the story, or it doesn't have enough light, possibly. It has this nice little pop-up flash, which starts to charge, and it sounds like a disposable camera flash, which I like. And then once it kind of determines it has enough light, it'll start to give you these little beeps. So if it's multiple beeps, it's out of focus or flash range. And if it's one long beep, there's not enough light. Put that down. It's got a timer on there. I assume that's a timer. So you can take family things, or group photos, or selfies, or whatever. And yeah, it beeps a lot. Just takes a couple AA's, so it's a very like household family camera to have around. Yeah, the screen in front of the viewfinder is broken, or this little plastic thing, but I don't think that affects anything. You'll see through the viewfinder. Pretty nice viewfinder, pretty small, but pretty nice. Kind of gives you an outline area of what you're shooting at. Oh, I completely skipped over this one. So this one's a little smaller, about the same weight. Doesn't have double A's certainly. This takes one with the CR2 battery or whatever. Pentax IQZoom 145 Super. And what I like about this one, again, a massive manual zoom on there. This one, the lens is a little goofy, so still have yet to see if any of these pictures are gonna come out. The lens cover is broken, but again, I don't think that really affects anything. I think it should be fine. You've got a counter there telling you how many pictures you've got left. Flash, and then there's like a mode button. Oops. So you can tell it, you know, landscape, portrait, whatever you're doing. I think this takes DX codes. I don't think I ever put the ISO in there, so you can't push or pull film on there, but I like the cute wood inlay. It's a really classy kind of Pentax point shoot. I mean, you don't get cameras like this anymore, really. Viewfinder, about the same as the Minolta, maybe a little bit smaller. No light meter in there, so you get what you get pretty much. All right, is this one bigger? We're kind of getting to the realm of big boy cameras now. Okay, we'll just get this one out of the way. I think this is about the same size as the Minolta. I mean, it's heavier for sure. Body wise, this is thicker, and it's got a big handle. Minolta doesn't have a hand grip like this. This is the 6500. This is my workhorse. This is my daily driver. This is my everywhere. This has been to Mexico. This has been to Europe. This will pretty much go everywhere with me. 4K video, 24.3 megapixels, interchangeable lenses, Sony E-mount. It's just super universal. Tons and tons of lenses for this system. All manual controls. 11 frames per second burst mode shooting. It's got a timer. It's got 3 custom buttons. You can change your functions on there. It's, you know, famously people don't like the Sony menu system, but once you figure it out, I don't think it's that bad. Pop-up flash. Again, just a little fill flash, or I like to pop it like that, and then you can bounce it off the ceiling, you know, boom. Yeah, I mean, this camera is something like 10 years old, but workhorse. I mean, this thing, I know I throw that term around a lot, and I probably will continue to, but dang, I like this camera a lot. Works really well. Never really given me any trouble. So, you know, maybe someday I'll upgrade to the 6400 or something like that, but this era of Sony cameras, I think are really, really good. I'm going to keep using them. So, okay, this one's heavier than the Sony. Maybe it's a little smaller. This is the Pentax ME Super. 35mm SLR, got the mirror. This is a great camera. It has a full manual. You can just set the mode to 125 to sync with the flash. Let's do flash sync mode, and then it's got an aperture priority mode, so you just set the aperture, and huge focusing viewfinder. Absolutely love it, and really nice light meter. I wish you could, maybe, can I get you in there? Oh, not quite. Anyway, nice big light meter in there where it tells you where your shutter speed's going to be at, and if that's going to be low light or if that's going to be enough light. Super easy to understand, super easy to read. The knobs are super easy to change. You know, you change the ISO by lifting this ring. So this is exposure compensation, but then you change the ISO by lifting that and moving it around. So I usually overexpose because color film does pretty well overexposing. So that was from a family member, and I found it, and then much later on I got into photography and realized I really like it. and it's a really cool camera. This one does have some light leaks, and I have not taken care of it. I should get it CLA'd because it is my favorite camera, but I will do that at some point. Probably soon. But right now I've got like 13 more pictures in here, so I don't know what's currently in there. So I need to finish this roll, essentially, and then I can do that. So in preparation for that, I was like, well, if I want to keep shooting film while that's getting CLA'd, I need something similar. So I got a Pentax Super program. This one I got from Blue Moon Camera and Machine. And look, these cameras are very similar. Like top plate, super similar. But the shutter is a little more finicky on this one. You have to like engage it like this to press the shutter. You change the shutter speed by pushing up and down. But it's got the same thing. It's got a lock on there, and then auto mode, manual mode, 125, and a bulb mode, which is everything on there. Same thing, you change the ISO by twisting this dial. There's exposure compensation, and you just twist this inner dial to change the ISO. I think it's harder to do on this camera than on the other one, but great. And it's got this thing, so that thing is you can open the shutter or open the aperture and kind of get your focus and then lower it before you take the picture. I don't know. It's just like a little feature. And then the timer on here is not a mechanical timer. This one's just like a little winder timer. You just pull that. This one, it's like a digital thing. Digital countdown in 10 seconds, which is weird, but it's great. And then it's got like remote shutter things. I think they both do. These both take Pentax K lenses, which is again a super, I mean, you've seen all the K lenses I have just sitting around, plus the adapters where I can adapt K lenses to Sony. That's kind of the stuff I like. It's a very 70s 80s vibe. Yeah, so these are 80s SLRs from Japan, and they're super high quality, super well made. They look cool. They look like Nikons or Canon AE1s or whatever, but I think they are cooler in their own right because they're not those. That's my personal opinion. I love Pentax cameras, or of this era specifically. There's not much else you can say about them. They're just SLR cameras that are pretty much the same, probably maybe less well built, but there's so much hype for Nikon cameras and Canon AE1s and Nikon FM2s and all that, and don't care. Give me an ME Super, give me a Super program any day. I like them better. So sue me. Okay, in that same realm, this is another camera that is also SLR, much more recent. This is a film camera. This is the Nikon FM10. Now, don't be fooled, because it's got Nikon on it and it's in the FM family. It's not really a Nikon. Sorry, it's a plastic body. I don't know, that might be a metal base plate. No, that's plastic. Everything's plastic on here. Everything feels much more cheap, but the thing was, these were bought at and sold in big lots for art schools and photography classes because they're super cheap. It just has this cute little Nikon 35-70 on it. Again, as I talked about a few videos ago, the kind of basic kit lenses. It's a 3.5. I mean, it's cool. It's a 3.5 constant aperture, so I guess that's not bad. So it's literally just a training camera. It's all manual, nothing digital on here, which is cool in its own right, I suppose. I don't really know anything about Nikons. I found this at Goodwill, and I thought that was a pretty good find. Looks like I've got some Kodak Gold or Ultramax in here. It is dusty. I've not really been using it. I will finish this roll someday. But it's only got the one dial, so this is your shutter speed, and then your ISO underneath there, which again looks like I'm overexposing, and it's just constant shutter speed. I mean, you can't really do anything. I mean, it doesn't have aperture priority mode like the Pentax does. So, all right, so that's all the 35mm SLRs, and that leaves one last camera. Yep, you guessed it. It's the Bronica S2A. It's my only medium format camera. It's my first medium format camera. I was very, very lucky to be gifted this camera by a friend. You've seen the video on it. Nothing has changed since then. Bronica Zenzinon 100mm f2.8. Big old portrait lens on there. Well, kind of. I think that's equivalent to like a 75. Shutter speeds of bulb to 1000. I really have no idea how to change the ISO on here. I don't think you can. You don't need to because there's no light meter. You kind of have to do everything yourself. I guess since the video, I have put a bottom plate on it so it can fit on my Arca Swiss tripod, which I do that for most of my cameras, so I can just switch them out. I love this camera. It's really great. It takes big, beautiful pictures. Currently shooting some Ilford HP5, and yeah, the only cameras I haven't discussed are the two A5100s and the two A6000s that live in the studio, and the GoPro 5, but you can figure that out yourself. Because they're working, and then the Sony A7 II, which is a beautiful camera. I took that to Mexico the first time and takes beautiful pictures, and it's as a webcam, I love it. I cannot get over that as a webcam, and it's absolutely beautiful. So like as you may have noticed going through those cameras, at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 were given to me, or I found at my family's house, and they said I could have it because I don't use them anymore. And I love that. I love those kind of cameras that are your family cameras, and they document all your memories, and I think that's special. And those kind of cameras that are consumer grade, low grade, not super high resolution, not a bunch of fancy features, that can take those kind of cameras can capture the most important images of your childhood or of your family life, or they did at some point. Now it's all phones, right? But I think there's something kind of special, kind of romantic about those cameras. And you know, in the old days, in the 80s, that was these. You know, you'd buy something like this, or you know, you'd buy something like this. This was more for like a hobbyist photographer that would take family photos, but this kind of thing where it's you don't have to worry about focusing or lens, you know. So I'm gonna run a roll through this. I have a roll from this to develop as well. See if I can get that done. But I think this is really special, and those type of cameras are really special. So anyway, thank you for watching, guys, and I know this was another kind of low effort video, but at least it was a little bit longer, right? And I'll see you tomorrow. We'll talk about something else. Bye.